Hello, my name is Mason Birney, and today I'll be going over an article written by Victoria L. Dunkley, MD, published by Psychology Today, and is called "This is Your Child's Brain on Video Games." The first big point that she starts out with is a story about this 9-year-old boy named Aiden. He loves to play video games, and he's at his older sister's graduation dinner where he's bored and irritated because his sister is being praised by everybody around him because she graduated. He gets excused to go play video games, and then he plays his Nintendo DS for over an hour. It wasn't supposed to go that long, but his mother figured it would be okay just for one night because of events going on for one night. During this time, he enters a fight or flight response due to the hyperarousal and overstimulation in his brain. When his little sister comes and interrupts him, he pushes her and gets in trouble and is sent into a rage, and eventually it gets sent to his room to calm down. He throws a major temper tantrum, breaks a lamp, punches a hole in a door, kicks the wall until his dad comes in and finally tries to calm him down a little bit. He calms down, he goes downstairs. Now everybody's looking at him weird and he's questioning himself. And then his aunt makes eye contact with him, which is what sends him back into another episode where he has to be sent back to his room and to bed, where in the middle of the night he has panic attacks, and in the morning he feels exhausted and it will take weeks for him to get back to normal. This happened because he was playing video games. Playing video games mimics the kind of sensory assaults that humans are programmed to associate with danger. This causes the primitive brain to just basically kick in immediately. The threat doesn't even have to be real. It could be, like we said, he's playing video games, he was in no danger. When the instinct is triggered, we enter this state of hyperarousal, which again is the fight or flight response. If the fight or flight response happens too often, you can develop chronic stress, makes the body take too long. It makes the body harder to regulate itself and make itself back to its calm state. That's when you develop chronic stress. Chronic stress, the blood is flowed away from the frontal lobe, which is the lobe of higher thinking, and it goes to the primitive deeper across. And it goes toward the deeper primitive side of the brain, which is cause for survival, which causes impairment in the brain and its function. She goes on to finish about how kids need to have their screen time managed and monitored so that they're not like this kid. My opinion on this article is I found it surprising because I was a child, of course. I played video games. I never really experienced anything like this due to video games. I was a quiet kid, so maybe that's because of it, but I found it surprising that this kid reacted this way. The article described him as a loving child, but I don't want to be mean or anything, but this kid threw a major temper tantrum just because he played on his Nintendo DS for an hour. I find that a little weird, but I won't make any assumptions. I learned a lot in this article. I knew obviously that playing video game raised the dopamine levels in your brain, and the article covers that, but to see that the effects that just had on playing video games and the overstimulation of staring into the screen and being exposed to all these emotions that just go off in your brain just from seeing pixels on a screen, and for children how this could be so dangerous, it quite frankly opened my eyes a little bit. So if I ever have a child, I'd be sure to monitor how much screen time they get, maybe even set a limit to what age they should even be exposed to that kind of stuff. I know we talked about that in class earlier in the semester with the TV hours, but this would be a little bit more different with video games. This opened my eyes a lot, and I think this is a pretty informative article for parents that show an anecdote of this child just losing it over a little bit over an hour playing video games. I thought this was very informative, and I enjoyed reading this article.